Welcome back to Infamous Killers in History. In this episode, we explore the terrifying story of Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. Join us as we uncover the gruesome deeds that inspired some of the most iconic horror characters in popular culture.
The air hung heavy and still over Plainfield, Wisconsin. A veil of silence seemed to blanket the farmlands, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the distant drone of insects. It was the kind of quiet that felt deceptive, a stark contrast to the storm brewing beneath the surface. No one in town, not even the sheriff, could have anticipated the horrors that lurked within the walls of a seemingly ordinary farmhouse on the outskirts of town. The year was 1957, and Plainfield was about to become synonymous with a name that would forever send chills down the spines of anyone who dared to utter it: Ed Gein. Ed Gein's descent into madness was a slow, insidious process, its roots planted firmly in a childhood steeped in religious fanaticism and emotional abuse. Born in 1906, Ed and his older brother Henry grew up under the iron fist of their domineering mother, Augusta. Augusta Gein was a woman consumed by religious fervour, her every word laced with fire and brimstone sermons. She instilled in her sons a deep-seated fear of sin, particularly the evils of women and their seductive ways. Isolated on their remote farm, the Gein boys were starved of social interaction, their world shrinking to the confines of their home and the suffocating presence of their mother. Augusta's constant tirades and warped teachings took root in young Ed's mind, twisting his perception of right and wrong, of love and hate. The outside world, with its temptations and perceived sins, became a source of terror, a stark contrast to the perverse sanctuary he found in his mother's twisted affections. As Ed grew older, his eccentricities became more pronounced. He withdrew further into himself, finding solace in morbid fantasies and a growing obsession with anatomy and death. He devoured books and magazines filled with graphic accounts of wartime atrocities and gruesome medical procedures, his mind becoming a breeding ground for the seeds of darkness planted by his upbringing. The death of his father in 1940, followed by his brother's suspicious demise in 1944, left Ed alone with his mother, their bond becoming both a lifeline and a chain. When Augusta finally passed away in 1945, it was as if the last tether to sanity had been severed. Ed was adrift in a world he never understood, haunted by the ghosts of his past and the insidious whispers of his own twisted desires. The seemingly peaceful facade of Plainfield was shattered on November 16, 1957. Bernice Warden, a local hardware store owner, vanished without a trace. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through the small town, the fear palpable in the air. Sheriff Arthur Schlee, a man hardened by years of law enforcement, couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. There was an eerie silence hanging over the case, an absence of leads that was more unsettling than any clue. Suspicion soon fell on the reclusive Ed Gein. He was the last person seen with Bernice, and his awkward demeanour and unsettling interest in macabre subjects had always made the townsfolk uneasy. When Sheriff Schlee and his deputies arrived at the Gein farm, a sense of foreboding washed over them. The property was dilapidated, the air thick with the stench of decay. Little did they know they were about to step into a nightmare. The scene that greeted them inside the farmhouse was nothing short of horrifying. The stench of rotting flesh was overpowering, clinging to their throats like an unseen hand. In the flickering light of their lanterns, the deputies stumbled upon a scene of unimaginable depravity. The house was a grotesque museum of human remains, a testament to the depths of Gein's madness. There were skulls on the bedposts, lampshades fashioned from human skin, and chairs upholstered with the flesh of Gein's victims. The air was thick with the buzzing of flies, drawn to the gruesome feast laid out before them. This was not the work of a sane man, but the product of a mind consumed by a darkness so profound it defied comprehension. Each step deeper into the Gein farmhouse revealed further horrors. In the kitchen, they found a box containing a human heart, seemingly preserved with a chilling reverence. The refrigerator held organs carefully wrapped in butcher paper as if destined for some unholy feast. The sheer depravity of the scene was enough to turn the stomach of even the most seasoned investigator. Among the most disturbing discoveries was a suit of human skin, meticulously crafted from the flesh of Gein's victims. It hung in a closet, a grotesque parody of a woman's evening gown. It was a testament to the depth of Gein's psychosis, a tangible manifestation of his twisted desires and the disturbing fantasies that consumed his mind. As the investigation continued, the full extent of Gein's crimes began to unfold. He confessed to robbing graves, exhuming the bodies of women he believed resembled his deceased mother. Driven by a warped desire to be reunited with his mother, Gein had attempted to create a woman's suit so he could climb into her skin and become her. His confessions were delivered in a matter-of-fact manner, devoid of remorse or empathy, sending chills down the spines of even the most hardened lawmen. The horrors unearthed at the Gein farm painted a chilling portrait of a mind consumed by madness. The macabre artifacts, the meticulously crafted trophies of his gruesome work, were not merely the result of a bloodlust, but a window into the twisted psyche of a man driven to unspeakable acts by a potent cocktail of mental illness, isolation, and a lifetime of warped teachings. The trial of Ed Gein was a media sensation, captivating the nation with its gruesome details and the unsettling glimpse it provided into the mind of a monster. The small courtroom in Washara County, Wisconsin, was packed with reporters and curious onlookers, eager to catch a glimpse of the man who had terrorized their state. Gein, dwarfed by the magnitude of his crimes, sat emotionless in the defendant's chair, his vacant eyes betraying no hint of the horrors he had inflicted. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence against Gein, the gruesome discoveries at his farmhouse, his chilling confessions, and the testimonies of those who knew him, painting a picture of a man consumed by his own darkness. The defense, on the other hand, argued that Gein was not a cold-blooded killer, but a victim of his own fractured psyche, a man driven to madness by a lifetime of trauma and mental illness. Psychiatrists for both the prosecution and the defense agreed that Gein suffered from schizophrenia, a severe mental disorder that impairs a person's ability to think clearly, manage emotions, and relate to others. They pointed to his delusional beliefs, his hallucinations, and his inability to separate fantasy from reality as evidence of his profound mental illness. On November 21, 1957, the jury reached a verdict. Ed Gein was found legally insane and committed to Central State Hospital for the criminally insane in Waupun, Wisconsin. He would spend the rest of his days confined within the walls of the institution, his crimes forever etched in the annals of American criminal history. The trial may have ended, but the legend of Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield, was just beginning.
Thank you for watching Infamous Killers in History. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Join us next time as we delve into the dark and twisted story of another infamous killer from history. Till then, stay curious and stay safe.